coming to you live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboy Zone. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. And this is game day. We got our pregame show, Dallas Cowboys versus the Los Angeles Rams. I don't have my co-host Lambo with me today, but we do have a special guest joining us, and we're honored that you came in last minute to join us. We have Payo Time, Rams podcaster. How's it going, Payo?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the show. I know, most of your viewers, I'm really excited for this game today. And it's, we're starting off with what looks to be a pretty significant upset. So Who knows what the rest of NFL Sunday will bring for us.
Exactly. Am I pronouncing that right, Payo?
Yeah, Payo Time. Yep.
Okay. All right. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, how long you've been podcasting, how long you've been a Rams fan.
Yeah, so I've been a Rams fan since 1999 with the greatest show on turf: Kurt Warner, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk, Orlando Pace, Ricky Prohl, and that crew. And I've just been through with the Rams thick and thin. I'm a Canadian Ram fan, and I live near Toronto. And I've been doing this YouTube gig for about a year and a half. And for whatever reason, some people have been clicking on my videos, and we've been having a lot of fun doing it.
Okay, great. Yeah, we have a couple of Cowboys podcasters in Canada as well. I may have to link you with one of them so you guys can do some type of Canadian version sometime in the future, because I'm sure we'll probably playing each other again for the next few years based off how our teams are looking.
Yeah.
All right, I see the views are starting to pick up. So, guys, if you're there, be sure to get in the comments and let us know that you're watching, what team you represent, where you're watching from. We got a lot of great segments coming up. So, as always, we like to get our viewers' participation in everything we talk about. And we'll try to get you guys out of here by 11:50 so that you can set your fantasy teams, get your favorite beverages ready for a full day of NFL football. All right, Payo, let's jump straight into it, and we will go into the injury report where we could talk about who's missing and how it will affect today's game.
Injury report.
All right, so pretty full list today.
Oh, wow.
On both sides.
A
lot of names on there that are pretty important to their teams. This is where I'm glad I have you here, because we know your team, but we don't know it as well as you. So let's start on your side first.
Yep.
And Grandizer 12.
Hey, Grandizer.
Andrew Whitworth. As soon as I read that hit me.
No, I get that a lot.
So I'm assuming you're a Rams fan, so thank you for joining, Grandizer.
He's actually a Dolphins fan, but
Okay.
he's a great supporter of my channel. Shout out Grandizer 12.
All right, so let's go through you guys' injury report really quick. Brian Allen out. I don't think he's your starter. He's your backup. Am I correct?
No, he is our starter. He got injured week 1 versus the Bills and hasn't. There was a chance he was going to play this week. But unfortunately, with the final injury report, it looks like he's out one more week. So definitely want him to come back because our O-line needs him.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the way our interior is playing, and we'll get to that when we get to our team. Kobe Bryant, we do a lot of draft talk here, and Kobe Bryant out of Cincinnati was one of our favorite corners coming out this past year. Has he had a role on you guys' team? Does this injury mean anything in terms of your defense?
Yeah, he had a great preseason, and he also he also had a couple of key plays versus the Falcons and versus the Cardinals. Unfortunately, our secondary, and I'll kind of wrap them all together. As you can see, there's a lot of people out. Yeah, Quentin. Yeah. Jordan Fuller, he's a safety of ours, and that's a big loss for us. David Long Jr., that's a lot. I know he's questionable, but you don't want your secondary playing injured. And Taylor Rapp, he's probably the most criticized player on the Rams outside of Allen Robinson right now. But he probably will play.
Okay.
But yeah, this Rams team is banged up. They do have more depth than what people give us credit for. They are a team that knows how to develop young talent. And so I'm hoping that our backups can play well. But out of this list here, definitely Brian Allen and Coleman Shelton on that are the biggest concerns being out, because Coleman Shelton, actually, though he was a starting guard for us, he was playing center. So we're actually on to a third string center, and I forget who they were actually going to get, but it's a guy I hadn't heard of. So anyway, it's going to be interesting on that Rams O-line today.
Yeah. So are Fuller and Rapp both your starting safeties?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why I thought Rapp may have been second string. Maybe because I didn't like him coming out of college.
He's been a rotational player at times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's hit the Cowboy side really quick. So you talk about the interior of your line, and Quentin Bohanna, which Grandizer hit on in the comments. Big Bo out of Kentucky. I'm sorry. He's questionable, but Jack Meeker says Big Bo does look like he's gonna play. He's been a big part of the interior for us. The biggest ones that I see, of course, Dak is gonna be out. Jason Peters, we signed him early in the season. We were planning on him get that left guard spot eventually, and he's doubtful. I think he's out. So that's gonna hurt us when it comes to trying to deal with Aaron Donald, which nobody can, but you like to have your best guys available if you have to go to war with them. And CeeDee Lamb came up on the injury report on Thursday with a groin injury. We know how serious those can be.
Yeah.
So we don't know. They're saying he's going to play, but it's something we have to be aware of during the game. Also, Jordan Lewis, our starting nickelback, which is, once again, we got to deal with Cooper Kupp. You want your best guys available. He actually missed last week's game because of his groin. That kind of makes me a little bit more afraid with the CeeDee Lamb situation. So we hope he's going to play, still up in the air. And then Tony Pollard, I mean, we don't use him like we should, but he is dealing with the illness, and he's also questionable. So we got a couple of important pieces that are pivotal to trying to stop you guys' two best pieces, in my opinion, and it looks like they're both out. So we gotta try to figure out a way to overcome that. All right, so Peyo, before we move forward in the show, do you have any Cowboys questions for us? Because
you know what? I think my biggest question, and I've heard you talked about it. I asked this question in your chat last week, but just what do you think the Cowboys' plan for Cooper Kupp is going to be in this game? He's getting the ball. If there's one thing the Rams are good at, they're good at getting Cooper Kupp the ball, and he is someone who can, if you don't guard him appropriately, he can take over a game at the wide receiver position. What are the Cowboys' response to Cooper Kupp?
That's a major upset there. I don't know if you guys have Green Bay on your schedule, but that makes me feel a lot better about our matchup coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, congrats to the Giants. That's a big win over in England for them. Well, it's getting shippy at the end.
Yeah, I hate it because that puts us down the rankings because they're an NFC team. We haven't played Green Bay yet. So, but it makes us feel better about the matchup we got coming. All right, so you said Cooper Kupp. So watching Kupp play, and I have this debate with Cowboys fans all the time. People say get physical with him. There's no way possible you can get physical with Cooper Kupp because he's either playing in a slot back position, H back position where you can't touch him. He's either stacked behind a wide receiver and you can't touch him. If he's out wide, probably more likely than not, there's going to be some type of screen pass where the tackle or the tight end is going to come out and immediately start blocking, so you can't touch him. So your only bet is you have to put a second set of eyes on them. And that's kind of what the Niners did last week. That safety or that linebackers, his first step has to be towards Kupp. You're going to have to try to make up for it everywhere else on your defense, but you cannot expect your cornerback to be able to get Kupp without having some type of help or assistance on him.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our fan base was saying, well, throw Diggs on him because Diggs is just so great. But Diggs' strength is reading and reacting and playing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Kupp's not getting a lot of balls that Diggs normally intercepts, fade routes, go routes, sitting on comebacks. Kupp is running a quick hitch or a drag.
Mm-hmm.
Those are Diggs' two weaknesses. So you got to put a second pair of eyes on them. Luckily, our safety is back. J-Ron Curse. Donovan Wilson's been playing great. So I expect us to use a 3 safety set where one of our safeties is going to be playing a safety linebacker hybrid role. And that instead of you guys who love to get Kupp lined up against linebackers one-on-one, I think we're going to get that safety on them, which is going to help a little bit.
Okay. And I'll say this, what I'm looking forward to, I have had the pleasure of watching every single snap of Cooper Kupp's NFL career. And the thing about Kupp, he is such an intelligent wide receiver. He's someone who can call an audible from the wide receiver position, and like you actually see the Rams offense do it. And if you see, and the other thing about Kupp is he's a lot stronger than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
And he has this one move that Ram fans like to call the Kupp swipe. It's where he has the ball, and if there's one defender in front of him, they're either going to try and tackle him high, because if you tackle him low, he's gonna fidget his way out of it. But they tackle him high, and he just takes his arm and swipes him away, and then just accelerates.
Right.
And it's normally for a big play if you see the Kupp swipe. But
okay,
yeah.
I'll be looking for that.
Yeah.
People hear receiver and they think of Cole Beasley, just using it for Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
Kupp is like 6'3", 210. Am I right?
I think he's 6'2", like just over 6'2". But still, he's bigger than you think.
Right. He's not your typical slot receiver. He's just an elite route runner with extremely quick feet. So it's not.
And really, like I've stopped calling Kupp a slot receiver years ago, because though he plays in the slot sometimes, they'll put him in the backfield. They'll line him out wide. Like I've seen him in the tight end slot before. They often motion him across the field. Like he really is a complete wide receiver.
Yeah. And I gave that long explanation, and Shane Odom came in and put it in one sentence. Kupp's going to be Kupp. You got to get to the quarterback. You get to the quarterback, you hope everything else just falls into place.
Shane's a smart dude. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And Grandize, I've been watching your comments. No, that's not me. I don't say yeehaw or cowboy up and yippee-ki-yay. That's another Cowboys podcast. I don't know who that is, though. But somebody did point out we do have a character called Cowboy Dale, super fan.
Oh,
if
cool.
you get a chance to come back, Grandizer, during a rivalry game, Cowboy Dale does a game prediction for us, and it's always entertaining.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Raphael says he thinks Tyler Higbee is the one to watch this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our linebackers are offering coverage. So,
thanks, Raphael. Appreciate that little tidbit.
Because like I said, I think that safety is going to be watching Kupp to help out whoever our starting slot is. So Higbee should have a lot of opportunities.
Well, the Rams offense is going to need something to get going, because really only Kupp and Higbee have been doing something.
Yeah.
And, against the Niners, we weren't able to get a touchdown at all. So I'm hoping the Rams offense can score 30 on the Cowboys today. I'm hoping for that.
Nobody's gotten the 20 so far, so it's going to be interesting to see.
I know it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. All right, guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like this. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. On Bluff City Cowboys, this is payo time. Go find both of us on YouTube. And also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you share this, because Cowboys fans need to hear things from a Rams perspective and vice versa. I know a lot of these fan groups can get kind of jaded with our own perspectives on our teams. So it's always good to put another perspective out there. So make sure
Absolutely. Yeah.
you guys share this. And Grandizer, I'm assuming he must not be either he is or isn't a regular to the show, because he just gave the segue to our next segment, Keys to Victory.
Grandizer loves asking great questions like this.
Yes, I love fans like this. So Grandizer, if you get a chance, make sure you come back and join us at the Cowboy Zone. As we go into, as requested by Grandizer, our keys to victory for this week's game.
Keys to victory.
All right, and pretty much as Grandizer kind of led to, we'd like to give 3 keys to each team winning this week's game. So, Payo, as the guest, I'll let you go first. And fan base, remember, we have a guest in the house. Let's be respectful. I normally don't have to say that, but I just like to put it out there just in case.
No, I feel very welcome on this channel, and anyone here, you're welcome on my channel anytime. But in regards to 3 keys today, okay, I was thinking about this beforehand. I've been thinking about this all week, and I'm gonna say the first key, and I hate that this is a key for the Rams, but I have to be realistic in it. We need to capitalize off of mistakes that the Cowboys make. And Cooper Rush is playing good football for you guys. He is still a young quarterback that's still gaining experience. And I'm hoping that guys like Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey are able to take advantage of mental mistakes that might be made by the Cowboys. So I hate relying on your opponent making mistakes to win the game. But right now, I just think that's a key to victory for the Rams to come out winning this game.
Now, Payo, let me cut you off really quick. I got to tell you this. So I know you don't watch the Cowboys, so you've seen he hasn't thrown any interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually thrown 3 the last 2 weeks, and all of them were overturned by penalties.
Oh, really?
He threw 2 interceptions last week, and they were both overturned by pass interference and illegal contact.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
so he's not as perfect as the media makes him out to be.
That's good to know. And again, I've only watched a bit of Cowboys. Like I watch all the highlights to all the games, but that's interesting. Okay. So yeah, that is key 1. I think the Rams gotta make Cowboys pay for mistakes. T2 or key 2, the Rams they don't need a good running game. They need a serviceable running game. And just like our running game has been pretty trash all year long, and we need Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson. Most Ram fans like myself, we really want Darrell Henderson to be the lead back. He seems to be just the one you can trust more between the two. But Malcolm Brown, we signed him. He was a former longtime Ram, had a stint with the Dolphins, and Grandizer was cheering him on. And then Grandizer, of course, called the Dolphins and was like, give him back to the Rams. And so the Rams got him back. Yeah. And we're hoping that something can happen, because we've been just doing these stupid, run for no gain. And we need serviceable run game. That's all I'm asking for.
Interesting note. Darrell Henderson is from my hometown. I've known him his whole life.
No way.
Yeah. I've watched probably 80% of the games he's played since he was 7.
Wow, dude, he's been great for the Rams. Like I've loved watching his career. That's awesome. So you've met him?
I've known him since he was 7.
That's so tubular, man.
His uncle's one of my really close friends who pretty much supported him along the way.
That's awesome. Oh, thank you for that tidbit. Wow. And then the third key for the Rams victory in this game, from a Rams fan perspective, is we need the O-line. I don't trust this O-line to play a perfect game. But we need them to play a solid second half. Especially if the Rams are able to get some kind of lead, we're going to need some long drives. And that with the run game, with giving Stafford time, if Stafford doesn't have time, and you guys got a dangerous looking pass rush, if Stafford doesn't have time, that's when he throws those interceptions. And I'm hoping and that this makeshift O-line that the Rams will have today will be able to hold tight just a little bit so that the Rams can get the ball out pretty quick.
Yeah. All right, those are all great key points. Some of our biggest fears also as Cowboys fans. I'll go through mine really quickly.
Yeah.
Number one, we know we can't stop Cooper Kupp. There's not a Cowboys fan alive who thinks we're gonna stop Cooper Kupp. We do a segment called Over Under, and I put out stats and people say over under. I tried to put a high one. I said 9 catches. Everybody still said over. So we all know we're not stopping Kupp. The question is, who's going to be the number 2 guy, and can we limit him? As you can see from the comments, everybody kind of thinks it's going to be Higbee because of the weaknesses we have at linebacker. But we got to stop your number 2 guy from doing anything in the receiving game.
There's a lot of people that are saying that this is Allen Robinson's breakout game, but to be fair, most Ram fans have been saying that all year long, and it hasn't happened yet. So if Allen Robinson is going to do something for the Rams, would love it to be today.
So talking about Allen Robinson, looking at you guys, how you do your schemes, most of the times, pronounce the number 3 receiver's name.
Ben Skoranek.
Okay, whatever is that name?
Yep.
It looks like whenever Kupp's in the slot, he's kind of playing the Z, and Robinson's usually at the X.
Yeah.
Am I right in that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
okay.
It depends. Like if they do move to their 11 personnel, it's a little bit different. But yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, Robinson's probably going to see a lot of DX. So.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. And the only thing is, sometimes you'll see a formation. We didn't use it. I think we only used it twice against the Niners. But if they put Ben Skoranek in the fullback position, he's this year he's kind of worked into a hybrid fullback wide receiver role. That's sometimes where you'll see Allen operate out of the slot. And yeah, I personally love it when Ben Skoranek is in that fullback position. It's just a nice little wrinkle for the Rams offense. But Diggs is probably going to be covering Allen a lot today.
Yeah. So my second key to victory is we have to stop the outside run game. Like I said, I've known Darrell Henderson forever. I've watched probably every Cam Akers game in high school and college because he's from Mississippi also. Mr. Football coming out of high school. Those guys are explosive runners. They don't get the credit that they deserve because they're always kind of injured, and running isn't really an emphasis for you guys. But we can't let them get to the edge. And Cowboys fans know anybody that's hurt us running the ball this year, they've gotten to that C gap and made us pay for it.
I'll say this: I would love the Rams to try that. We don't run outside much because we don't run the ball that much at all.
So Grandizer are giving some great stats today. 2 teams met 36 times, and it's completely tied. Very interesting note, Grandizer.
Oh, winner takes the lead today. Grandizer coming in clutch with the stats.
Yeah, that's a great stat, Grandizer.
Yeah.
And our number 3 stat, got to talk about Aaron Donald. We got to stop the interior of you guys' team from dominating. I'm a big Greg Gaines guy also.
Yeah, he's great.
He's kind of the unsung hero on you guys' defense. One of those dirty work guys who just always gets it done. And then you also have Bobby Wagner, who's just still amazing at a advanced age. So we can't let the interior dictate the game because Aaron Donald's going to be everywhere. And I know Wagner's going to be blitzing and locked in on Zeke. So we got to stop the guy's interior. We got to shut down your number 2 guy, and we got to stop the outside runs. And I don't think either one of us brought up the Cowboys pass rush. So
yeah, well, I briefly mentioned it that going up against this Rams makeshift O-line, but yeah, that Cowboys pass rush is scary. Are you guys second in the league with sacks now?
We are. I think. Yeah, I think the Niners passed us Thursday.
Mhm.
When did the Niners play? That wasn't Thursday.
No, Thursday was the horrible
That's right.
Broncos
Well,
Colts.
yeah, the
We
Niners
want to
passed
forget
us
about
last
that
week.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, the Niners passed us last week because Micah Parsons been on kind of a drought.
Oh yeah, they had 7 sacks last week.
Yeah.
Man.
Micah Parsons had 2 sacks per game the first 2 weeks, and the last 2 weeks he hasn't had any. But we've still been getting 3-4 sacks a game, but that Micah presence hasn't come in yet. Grandize are giving us the weather report, dome game.
So, fun fact: SoFi Stadium is considered an outdoor stadium, and I was there back in September, and like it's a canopy built over top. So, like, Grandizer's not wrong to say dome because it pretty much is a dome, but technically, by the way that it's built, it's a canopy over a hole in the ground.
Okay. Boy, Grandize are giving us the gambling stats and everything.
When Grandizer 12 is in your stream, this is what you get. He is a fantastic person to have in your stream.
I actually like that. Rams favored by 5. I would take the Cowboys even if they don't win against the spread. 42. That was interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, guys, we're at 11:42. We're almost done. Stick with us for last 3 segments. We'll go through them really quickly. This one, we need some participation because we're going to do our game predictions for this week's game. You've gotten the keys to victory. Now let's put it all together and say who you think is going to win and by how much.
Game prediction.
All right. Somebody had a question. Shane Odom asked, how do you feel about the fans at SoFi, and this could be a home game for the Cowboys?
Great question, Shane. And I'm fully aware there's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans there. Now that I've actually been to SoFi, I realize because LA is such a tourist destination, like when I was there, we played the Falcons, and there were so many Falcons fans there, and like they don't have nearly the fan base that like the Cowboys do.
Right.
And I was talking to some of them, and they said like, "Oh, we like once we knew this game was here, we made a vacation of it and just like made this part of our trip." So I've realized like that's kind of what you get when you have a team in LA. And yeah, like I know Sean McVay did say in his press conference on Friday that the Rams were practicing a silent count. And so no, I'm well aware that there's gonna be a lot of Cowboys fans there, and it's I'm hoping we can hopefully they're quiet early in this game.
And also the Cowboys have done their training camp in Oxnard for 20 years now, so we've built a pretty big following in that area just from that. And a lot of people from Santa Clara and LA always come to our training camps because at one point there was nothing else there for LA fans in terms of football because teams go in and out. So it's going to be interesting. William Coulter having 27-17 Dallas. He thinks we score on defense this week. Oh, man. I don't know if we'll score 27. I like the 17 for the Rams. I really don't know. I'm torn on this game. I'm gonna go similar to what I did with Tampa Bay. I think it's 2017 Dallas. I think it's a coin flip. Whoever has the ball last is probably gonna kick the field goal. I just don't see us getting 27 against this defense. All right, Peo, what do you got today?
Accuse me of being a homer. That's totally cool. I do think that this game is a game that will come down to who has the ball last, and I think that the Rams are going to have it last. I'm doing a prediction here, and I'm going the Rams are going to win it.
Okay.
In the last seconds of the game on a field goal. I'm going 27-24.
Okay. All right. Grandizer.
And I see Grandizer saying Bobby Wagner, player of the game. I feel like that that's not a bad prediction, Grandizer.
I think it's a good one also.
Yeah. I still think it's Jalen Ramsey. I just think he does really well against inexperienced quarterbacks who don't know to throw to him in certain situations. And Ramsey, he's someone that, like, if you make a mistake, he will make you pay.
I see we got the Beard Gang in the building. Brian Dublé, thank you for joining. I may be underestimating the team. I just don't see how we can get 24. I don't see us throwing 3 touchdowns or throwing or running for 3 touchdowns. I just can't see it. I feel like 2 is our cap in terms of touchdowns, and field goals have to take us the rest of the way. But I see a lot of our fan base has us getting 3 touchdowns. So Stephen White, thank you for joining. And see if did I miss one? I think I got everybody.
Sweet.
Mendoza saying our special teams will be our player of the game. Oh, thanks for bringing up Mendoza. So Payo, how is your team's punter and your I don't know if you are a special teams guy like us, but
yeah,
how's your kick coverage been?
It's been solid. Yeah. We were blessed for many years to have Johnny Hecker as our punter. But no, we've done well. Dixon, he was the Giants punter last year, so he's played you guys before. He did a lot of punting last year with the Giants. But no, he's played well. And I will say this: Brandon Powell as our return ace, he's someone you got to watch out for. He does have he plays on offense a little bit, but his main bread and butter on the Rams team is being our return ace, and he is someone that can for sure run it back. So if you don't have good punt coverage, watch out.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we have the best special teams in the NFL right now. I think that's
you guys still have Bones, Jim Fossil, right?
We do.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss him. I was so bummed when he left us to go to you guys.
Yeah, but you guys made us suffer through Greg Zerline for a year.
Yeah.
I wish we could have gave him back.
Oh, Legatron. Oh man.
Yep. All right, Jeff got 24-17. Stephen White, thank you for joining. James Crittenden, I see you came in also. Thank you for joining.
Do you guys still have Jake McQuaid as your long snapper?
Or? Still an open wound up here. He got hurt on Tuesday, so we had to bring in a backup.
No!
Yes.
Oh, he's such a good long snapper.
I know. He just got hurt, so we have
because he was with the Rams for a long time. That's so disappointing. I didn't know he got hurt. Oh man.
Yeah, so we got a guy on practice squad. We just called him up for this week's game.
Okay.
So that's definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely.
New long snapper coming in on a Wednesday. So he doesn't have a lot of game reps with us or practice reps.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're at 11:49. We're going to go through these last segments really quickly. If you're a regular on the show, you know what's coming next. This is our bold prediction. So get your bold predictions ready. Get them in the comments. And after that, we're going to go to our fantasy favorites and close this thing out. So, guys, get your bold predictions ready.
Okay.
Bold predictions.
All right, I see I got my guy Terry Rudd joining us. He's a diehard Niners fan.
What's up, Terry?
And the question he asked me in our private chat every week, if somehow the Cowboys pull this off, what does that mean with Dak and Rush? I still think it's Dak's job. I don't think Rush, unless Rush just has a great game. Because on tape, Rush looks like a backup who's getting bailed out by conservative play calling and a great defense. But if you're just someone who looks at the box score and you see Rush had 200 yards pass and they won, you think, oh, Rush is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole he's reading the field better stuff, that's not legitimate when you look at the tape of the games. But he is hitting the guys who are open. He has a connection with Noah Brown that Dak didn't have. So that also helps him out a lot also. Hopefully Dak can get that same connection. All right, guys, bold predictions. Give me your bold predictions in the comments. Something that's kind of out there could possibly happen. Malik Hooker getting 2 picks today. Rafael Govan, that's a good one. Jeff saying Cooper Rush with the rushing touchdown. That's definitely bold because he is terrified of leaving his spot whenever he gets the ball. Yeah, Jack Mika says he's been a great bus driver. Terry Rudd saying Dallas gets 6 sacks.
I don't know
He
if that's
doesn't
that
want to
bold.
say 7 because his team had 7. I already
Yeah,
know.
yeah, Terry.
Right. Good enough to be bold, but not enough to make it to be better than his team. I got you, Rudd. Shane Odom says Cooper Rush has more passing yards than Stafford. Our fan base is really expecting our front 7 to get after Stafford this week. All the bold predictions seem to be defensively in terms of front 7 and Stafford. Brian Dublé saying 3 sacks. Mendoza, the captain of the Hinder Hive, our rookie tight end, he thinks he's going to go off today.
Okay.
All right. Stephen White, LV. That's a bold one. LVE with a pick 6.
Okay.
Unless it's 15 yards or less, I don't think he has the speed to have a pick 6 season. But so that was really bold. He says Turpin makes plays both on offense and special teams. That one would be interesting. He's kind of our. Who'd you say your returner was? Powell?
Yeah, Brandon Powell. Yeah.
Powell. Turpin's kind of our Powell. He may get a snap here or two on offense, but he's really made his name on special teams. James says Diggs will have 1 or 2 interceptions.
You got to commit, James. Commit to one or two.
Commit to one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, James. 1 isn't really bold when you're talking about Diggs.
Yeah. This is bold. This is really bold.
So did was the pink because he had a kid or was it for breast cancer month? I don't know.
It was an animal rights activist.
Okay.
He got tackled by Bobby Wagner, and
right.
That's kind of the story.
Okay. See, when I saw the pink smoke, I thought it was like some guy who just had a kid and it's a girl.
Yeah.
But it's Peter. Okay. Yeah. All right. William Coulter, Pollard will have over 125 total yards. That's definitely bold considering his usage last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then Terry Rudd says Michael Gallup gets 2 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Oh, let me ask you this question. We talked about Diggs. Ramsey. I know Ramsey doesn't follow, and that seems to bother him a little bit based off comments here and there.
It bothers a lot of people.
So how do they play Ramsey? Explain that really quick.
So the Rams it's really frustrating at times. The Rams rarely give up the big play, but they'll often have Ramsey. It's a hybrid man zone coverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they move Ramsey around, and the goal is so that Ramsey is around the ball more.
Yeah,
which I can understand, but the issue with it is you'll have the other team's best wide receiver sometimes on like I've seen Leonard Floyd covering like Deebo Samuel before, and it's like come on, like what are we doing with that? So anyway, yeah, I'm hoping that Raheem can mix in a little bit more hybrid to have Ramsey shadowing CD today.
Okay. So does Ramsey normally play like one spot or does he move at all?
They move him around. Around. Yeah. And like every now and then you'll see him. He's a really good tackler. So every now and then you'll see him actually come in for like a blitz here and there, or he's helping in like run stuffing. But again, he's a talented guy and they do a lot of different things with him for sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So is Terry Rudd right that they play leverage depending on the hash with Ramsey?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Terry. It's okay. And again, it's frustrating. The term "the bend but don't break" defense is pretty common with the Rams defense.
Okay. All right. So we're at 4 minutes until the game, so we're gonna get through this really quickly. We'll go to fantasy favorites. Then Payo, you can let us know where people can find you at. So I won't do the pretty graphic. Give us your fantasy favorite in this week's game against the Cowboys and the Rams, and then just a guy outside of fantasy.
Okay.
I mean, outside of this game.
my fantasy favorite. It's nothing spectacular, but Cooper Kupp in this game for the Rams. I think you can't go wrong playing him there. And then I like to be a little bit bold. I'm thinking through it. I'm gonna say that if you're looking in it, if you're playing in a really deep league where you need a wide receiver, I think that Hardman of the Chiefs is a good play this week on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
I think he could go off against the Raiders.
Interesting. That's not us, Grandizer, but I appreciate that. So in this week's game, I think it's gonna be Gallup. I think he's gonna get a lot of Darion Kendrick, the kid from Clemson by way of Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think Gallup in his second game back is gonna really get back into rare Gallup form with the toe tap catches and back shoulder fades. Outside of this game, Detroit is awful.
Yeah, that defense, yeah.
I'm looking at the Patriots. They're down to their number 3 quarterback. I don't like their receivers, but I love their running backs. And I'm going with the one that I know is going to get a touchdown, Damian Harris.
Okay.
So you can start both of them, anybody who has Stevenson or Harris, but I'm going with the touchdown guy first. So fire up Damian Harris, Patriots, Lions, fantasy favorite.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for the show. Thank you guys for joining us. We ran a few minutes late.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I hope you guys had enough time to get your favorite beverages and get ready for some football. Payo, before we go, let the people know where they can find you at, and let them know about this this watch show that you're gonna do.
Yeah, I'll be hosting a watch party today on YouTube on my channel. If you Google search Payo Time, Payo Time, you'll find it really quick. It comes up, thankfully, in search. And yeah, I love talking about the Rams. I'm just a pretty chill dude that loves talking football. Yeah, thank you, Steven. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll definitely be watching that. Unless the game goes out of hand either way, then you won't see me again. But I will be tuning in. I will be making comments during the watch party. So
awesome. Thank you.
Guys, make sure you go check that out. You can find me Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Bluff City Cowboys. You can also find me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys. And make sure you guys join us this Wednesday, hopefully for Victory Wednesday, as we break down the Cowboys versus the Rams game. And we look ahead to next week's big matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if Lambeau will be back, but I'm for certain that Cowboy Dale will be returning with his rivalry week game prediction. So be sure to check that out. Hope you guys enjoy your day, enjoy a lot of NFL football, and definitely enjoy some Cowboys and Rams football. Payo Time. Any closing thoughts before you get out of here?
Let's have a great time watching football, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you like and subscribe to Bluff City Cowboys. It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for reaching out, and I'm so glad we got to do this today.
All right, and for the fans of the Cowboys, the Rams do play people that we also play. So if you're like me and you like to get inside notes on how teams perform, go check out Payo Time. If it's a team that they've played before us, he's going to give you some good notes about how that team performed against them, and we can bring that back to the Cowboy Zone and talk about that here also. So don't just follow Cowboys podcasters. Follow a great podcaster like this that's putting out good content.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, guys. Thank you. Like I said before, have a good day. Let's watch some good football, and let's go Cowboys. See you guys next week.
Rams. What is that?